tracks, red eyes, clothes everywhere. Missing a moment when you're still there.
You guys, I am the So, the Open Public Meetings Act statement. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, the notice requirements have been set. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting and are posted on the public bulletin board of the lobby of the community center and published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year. Salute to my flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Omar, roll call.
Councilmember Dayton.
Here.
Councilmember Menon.
Here.
Councilmember Michaels.
Present.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor.
Here.
Councilmember Park.
Here. And now to be considered a resolution in support of restoring funding for the environmental programs.
So this one is Mayor Park knows. Was brought up at the Environmental Commission the other night, and this is a resolution to reinstate funding for both environmental education programs, cleanups, things like that. We're taking out of the 2024 budget. So the reason why this is a bit time sensitive is the council and commissions across the state are pressuring the state legislature to try to reinstate this funding before the end of the session, which would be really January. So if anybody, if there's like a consensus here, I'd like for the opportunity to move this resolution so we can act on it this evening as well. And this is a resolution that was developed that is also being acted on across different communities in the state within the last other days.
We can move that to the non-consent agenda.
Correct. That would move under item 8.
Councilman.
And I agree with this, but I just I'm wondering why is it only $60 million? You know, that's such a small amount.
Yeah, it's a really good point. You're cutting something that we think does so much good, and it probably should be far better funded. Yeah.
Julie, I just want to ask, just to be clear, this is a corporate business tax. It's not the tax on the individual home.
Right.
This is just for the corporate side.
So, right, you know, I know that this was something that was being cut this time, so yeah, it's not, yeah, I don't think that the individual homeowners are anything to do with it.
I mean, obviously, I'm for funding open space, farmland, historic preservation, the things that we're putting in.
Hold on, so this will be comments.
464. Yes.
And next, Bergen JIF opposition for Assembly Bill 5659. Put on.
This was requested to be put on by Linda Leno W, who is your JIF coordinator. That's why I came in through her.
Yeah, this is to increase in.
So essentially, it's increase in contingency amounts that would be payable to attorneys for those who are filing workers' comp claims, and also the proposed legislation allows for an increase in payment of experts. So for flat fee, increasing it, and so the concern I believe is that by allowing larger amounts to be paid out, that the impact to municipalities that may be paying these judgments will get bigger to reflect the difference of what's going into the individual versus what's going to the experts and to the lawyers.
I mean, I think that the point of this one is that the community, the township should be consulted right before. I think that was one of the maybe about how
Before constant budget problem.
before it solves the budget problem, because you know the idea of the impact, the impact of the
This need to be filled out tonight. Is there time in for this?
So I want to say, I apologize, there's more to it than just those increases. The legislation I had reviewed was one piece of it when I saw the resolution, but yes, there's also additional impacts as a result of it.
Yeah,
The nice thing
analysis
about-
of cost.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The nice thing about this resolution is that it's not actually making a decision, it's actually asking for more research and review on the issue. And so, given that, you know, this is a workers, a labor union bill, they want to make sure that any proposed increase is justified. So I see no reason not to give them the time to do that kind of work. You know, again, this isn't deciding on the underlying issues, it's asking for more time for, from what I understand, for review. Is that your understanding of it?
Because the last part of the resolution is about, you know, more. The impacts, don't act on it, cap, all that stuff. And so to me, it's like, yeah. That's the knowledge that they're acting.
Any opposition or this on non-consent?
No, I'm in favor of giving more time.
So this becomes 4, 5, 6 or more.
4, 5, 6, 4, 6, 5.
5.
Yes.
We think
So 5. Yes.
Right. Administrators report, sir, you're up.
Thank you. Very quickly, there have been some questions about the RFP for the traffic engineering for the downtown revitalization plan. Just very quickly, the RFP was released on November 16th. It's due back on December 20th. I contacted both engineering firms. They already received the RFP and both stated that they will respond. Filling the business administrator's vacancy, we now have 15 resumes. The senior bus. The senior bus has been on a lot of the agency for an extended period of time. We finally have finalized what we're trying to purchase. We sent the borough mechanic down to the lot today to confirm that all of the attributes of the bus that were listed on the invoice are there. They are. So we've issued the purchase order and we anticipate delivery of the bus very soon.
Just a quick question, when we're talking about the senior van.
Yes.
it's a retrofitted bus for multi-wheelchair and ADA facility.
Okay, so, because I
It's
think.
not the
we're-
larger bus, it's a smaller
Right.
van.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's what we were originally calling it, and sort of to distinguish it from the.
In the larger bus.
From us, yeah.
And this doesn't require the CDL, so we will be able to have John as your driver. With that. That's great news.
Train station, as we realize, the time has passed for working on a roof, so that is put off to the spring. We are now attempting to do a written quote to replace the electrical panels there, and some of the electrical wiring, though obviously for safety reasons, need to be addressed. We're going to be using the county's historical trust fund to fund the project. We're pursuing 2 grants that were identified by the council at the last meeting, the Green Acres Jake's Law Playground Grant, as well as the UTA Local Property Acquisition Grant. The playground grant, the deadline is February 7th, and if we proceed, we've already received a quote from Millennium Strategies at close to $2,600. Naturally, that will be done by resolution if the council decides to move forward.
Kevin, on that grant, there has been a lot of talk about putting in, at least in discussion, you know, the decision hasn't been finalized for inclusive playground equipment. So that was something we were looking into, and there's a lot of great options out there.
That's a excellent thought, because obviously before you make a grant application, you have to identify the specific project and what components will go into that project. So
Yeah.
yes, so some decisions have to be made early on.
I'm happy to work on some of that. I had done a lot of research with Jimmy on different pieces of equipment. We brought a couple to council. Some really nice pieces from whatever company that our rent department took together.
Excellent thought.
Do we have the proposed amount of the grant?
All of them are, what I like the most about them, they're all like unlimited, so they're all matching grants with no ceiling. So that's why that was the most attractive part. The other part for, the ones that we spoke about, sometimes they're for, I'm making this up, distressed neighborhoods, people that, like the color purple, all those different things. These look like they're, best, proposal wins, I think, which increases the chance that we can actually.
So Jimmy and I have been working, I know I brought it up about the section of Walnut Park that is currently vacant. There's like a square section behind the main playground. We were talking about making that an inclusive playground. We had done some research on some equipment. We didn't get into the budget this year. We had bought the one spinner, but I have all that work that Jimmy and I compiled. So,
I think we just have to align on, are we gonna do it, then we should chat with Millennium, and then to Kevin's point, let's share all the ideas we got.
we definitely do have a space for it though.
Yeah.
In that one,
No,
it's
they're all-
vacant.
They're all three.
And
Oh,
yes, sir.
no, go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead.
That's I had something else.
Oh, okay. And the second grant, the deadline for filing has not been established. But once it's established, then Millennium can give us a quote in order to file that application.
Sorry, what was that one?
This is the EDA local property acquisition grant.
Oh, yeah. Adam, you should,
Economic Development Authority.
yeah.
And as Councilman Michael stated, we're working towards looking at 3 additional grants that I guess we discussed at the last meeting. And hopefully, either at the next meeting or into 2024, we will be asking the council to consider renewing the contract with the Millennium for grant application services. Thank you.
I do want to say that, Kevin did the DPW meeting, which occurred. So if anyone has any questions, can you just give us, for the full council, the update on the salt shed, because that was pending. And of course, any other update from DPW.
Primarily with the salt shed, the obvious is that salt shed has to be addressed. Exactly how we're going to address it, I think has been an ongoing saga, and various opinions have been expressed. I believe the current plan is to remove the roof in order to do a good survey on the foundation walls, as well as the floor. Our DPW director has already been in contact with the neighboring municipalities, so that when we start this project, if we have salt in the shed, we can unload it off to them, and then when we're ready to receive it back, obviously, ever how it's going to work. Either they have their delivery delivered to us, etc. But it will all be worked out between the DPW directors. At the meeting, it was interesting because we got a little bit of a jab from our borough engineer about having a second engineering company come in and give an opinion. But regardless, they have a plan, and that's what's going to be fine.
I will say to my fellow council, Jeff and I were the liaisons. Obviously, the committee needs to be taken over, but this was supposed to be done already. This salt shed is already supposed to be taken down and ready for this season. I'm not sure why Colliers is bringing it to me. We had 2 quotes on it. We know what the price
We
is.
approved them.
We approved the money in the February budget, and the goal was to do it in stages so that we check the foundation and only maybe possibly have to spend half. And again, we're now in December, none of that work has been done. So I'm not sure
So I'm
what,
sorry if I missed it, can we just ask why?
Yeah.
If we approved it as a council, why didn't we do it?
So I can't answer.
If we
no,
could
no,
follow
it's
up with
not,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
And the library,
Yeah.
that's going to complete. Right.
The library roof has been completed. It was reported at the engineering meeting that there were no additional leaks.
So there were leaks.
Well, during construction, there was absolutely leaks that were addressed by the contractor, addressed by the engineering firm.
I would like a report on that.
Did they get to find the location of the leaks and they, identified that and corrected that, or?
It was corrected during the construction, and well addressed I did get wind unofficially that we need to look at the roof again to make sure that there are no additional leaks.
And so the reason I asked you because I understood that there were issues and it would be good to we can have that confirmed that there are.
So I think that in the engineering report, they mentioned that the contractor was on site the week of November 27th to repair these. And that we're investigating the issue with the alarm system to verify that roof repair did not impact us.
Just one thing, Kevin, if you can. So I looked at there's a Sustainable New Jersey Complete Streets Technical Assistance Program. Can you please share, I read it, it sounds like they just help them with money, but can you just share, is it legal? That's what I mean, please. Share with the two engineers that are in the process of doing their RFP type thing, but can they leverage this or whoever? Take a look at the dates. I don't want to mess it up, but this to me feels like free help. I like free, and it fits perfectly with what the traffic engineer is going to do. So I don't know if you can just work with Wendy on what is appropriate, but I don't want to lose that opportunity. It looks like they provide not money, but like, I don't know, some guy from the state comes and
But it
says how to
looks
fix
like
it.
it's what you've already done for certain streets, so I would recommend that if you are gonna look at this grant, that it be for perhaps expanding the area that wasn't already looked at in the study.
So it's a great idea. So let's look at, I think we have about $8 trillion that we've, identified that first pass. So we have agreed and paid for as a council or allocated funds for that first Dean Street. Maybe to your point, Wendy, we don't look at that. We look at steps 2, 3, and 4 that we haven't.
Perhaps, another area up in central where it's been somewhat more difficult for the kids to cross to get to the schools. This seems like it would be in line with that, the walkability.
That's good. I got one better for Lauren. This is my gift to Lauren, her favorite River Edge, which we identified as an opportunity, but we didn't do any work on.
Right, that's the median project.
The median project, maybe we do that, but let's ask Kevin, let's ask.
I love that.
Would you be kind enough to forward that information to me?
Yeah, I'll do that.
So,
Just the heads up, Complete Streets is the one that requires. That's the one we always turn at, because it's so expensive. Just the heads up.
well, this project, the median alone was gonna be a significant project, so that's not a bad one for.
Or it's gonna be, to your point, something that's not, it's not local streets, like East Clinton, which is not a local street. We always run into problems because we have to get approval with the county. Maybe that would help. Okay, let's see. I'll work with you again.
Or even Knickerbocker, which is a significantly long street and a lot of kids on the bus.
Cool.
Oh, one is gone. No, one, sir. All right, we're gonna move on to public comments. Let's start with anyone online want to.
Anybody online who wish to speak, please raise your hand. I see no hands. I'm sorry.
What is that flashing?
That is the TV. So when his hair sounds, that's saying that there's no sound coming through the TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, no one's online, wishes to speak. Anyone in the audience here? One in the audience. All right, closing public comments. Moving on to correspondence. We got a letter from the record board. Looks like why are we doing this?
So let me try to help. So they're looking for, the rec department, when there's kids or whatever, there's always events. They want there's like a coffee truck that, they want to have, use the wrong words, but available to us. You guys know it. Oh, there you go. So if you don't do this, then every week they're gonna in advance have to fill out the form. So this just allows them for the period to, if they have an event that could benefit from coffee, they can bring this truck to the event.
And
To gather, it's called to gather coffee trucks.
Lots of concerns.
I'm just gonna raise some this. So the same, the same coffee shop for that pushback from one of our local businesses downtown. I mean, I always wanted something hot chocolate, coffee at the events to be a good idea, but I just want to be
So I think,
aware of that.
right, so I think these are two different things that can close with the same. This is not driving around town, this is for when there's an event that, I'm making this up. There was the community, on Saturday, there was the community play date,
Mhm.
and I'm making this up. They would say, can the coffee truck come to the community play date?
So the problem that I see with it, and Kevin, please feel free to jump in, but this is a procurement issue because you're giving an exclusive license to somebody to come to all rec department events that would need to go through a procurement process. That can't just be the value of what you're giving of that exclusivity. Doesn't quite align there. It's one thing if you're having community events and it's open and whoever wants to come and it's an application, sort of like the event last Saturday, where there was multiple food vendors and that came in through the partnership with downtown committee and the chamber. That's a different situation where you're telling one vendor you can come to all of our events all year.
Okay, can you just follow up with Jamie and see if there's an easier way? And again, I don't know if it's meant for this particular one, but is there any, I think the objective is how do we make it better for the community, like when we have an event to a exclusive.
Similar to what you do with EV chargers, it's a procurement that's like a concession agreement. Somebody's getting the value of the contract to sell coffee on behalf of the borough. So instead of us having to be there with your employees selling coffee, you could procure the benefit of that contract to the public, let people bid on it and see what the best value is for the residents and for the borough and do it in that manner.
That's fine, yeah.
Would you do it as one spot? Or you
No,
say
it's a correct.
2 or 3 spots? No, I'm just, if that idea be like, because I know that the procurement thing, you're like, I want one coffee shop, I'm just asking, because then that kind of brings it back to that one guy will do all 10, 12 events, which is fine if they won that procurement, but
I think we have a procurement expert sitting today.
Oh,
yeah. Right now, so I don't need to talk as much.
Through you, Council President, yes, the procurement is definitely an issue, but the bigger issue is we have an ordinance in place. The ordinance is a mobile food and beverage vendors. And that ordinance lays out specific rules, regulations, etc. I read it. I'm going to defer to council to determine whether this particular activity falls within the guidance and the permissiveness of this ordinance. My first question, I think it does. It does. I don't see anything in the ordinance that actually prohibits this particular activity as long as it's not in the street or on a sidewalk. I give the example, and maybe the best example in the world, that we have a recreational field out here. We have a parking lot belongs to the borough. It is not a street, it is not a sidewalk. It is not a business, it is not a commercial zone, it is not a private property. So I would defer to the recreation department to look at this ordinance and see whether this particular coffee truck is going to comply within the guidelines of the.
There is also a potential to have the borough sponsor. So that would be another mechanism by which it could come in as well, since recreation is an arm of the borough itself. But Kevin raises another interesting point as well, because we utilize fields from the Board of Ed. So it's not always on, we don't always have the ability, you all as the council, to approve it, or the administrator through special events permit to approve it if it's not on your property board.
Maybe we just say residents at borough.
But would that meet the needs of Wendy's concern?
No. No, but it's an idea that has been brought forward, and there's a mechanism that could have it come to fruition. We just have to follow the proper
So I'll
mechanism.
we could have just Jamie and you connect or to see what's best. Again, Jamie's desires to meet the needs of the residents and your.
Yeah, I would recommend that Jamie speak with Kevin about it as well. And to the extent that then the decision is made that they have XYZ list of dates that they know they want it at, or certainly identifiable, because you need a scope for procurement. Then certainly it can come back to me, but I don't think you really want me to be involved at this early juncture.
No, that's fine. Good. I'll work with, I'll speak to Jamie tomorrow and then.
This is a silly question, but what was the difference between the coffee truck and the ice cream truck that comes to all of our sport events?
It's licensed under a different ordinance.
That's right, we cut out for ice cream truck.
Ice cream trucks existed before all of it, so it had its own, and quite frankly, when you did introduce the mobile vendor food and beverage, the two different iterations, it was modeled somewhat on the background checks of the ice cream vendor. Because if you're gonna have that already out there, then it was proven in the process. That was the starting point for the next one.
Okay. I love the idea, but I want the macaroon and hot cocoa cup thing. We got that one.
I'll work on it.
All right, next correspondence on the Mr. Edmund. 134 Chuck Show.
So I know this might confuse some people, but the reason it's on here is there's a property owner who originally had put in, or the contractor had originally put in for the tree removal permit. And there's a tolling of the clock that occurs at the earliest of certain situations, which includes the CO. The CO was issued for the home, but the site is still being worked on, and it's not conducive to planting trees when you're putting in a new ground pool still. So Mike Cassidy had already granted, under his discretion in your ordinance, 3-month extension, but anything beyond that requires council approval. So if the council is amenable to the idea, then there would be a resolution on for the next agenda that would provide for a continuation of the date for planting until, I believe it was June of 2024.
And they're intending 2 weeks, not just.
Correct, they actually, they sent out today a actual tree mitigation plan. I apologize that it was only sent today, but I only received it today. So that was the good faith effort to show they're truly looking to do it. They have a plan, they're working with the landscaper, they already, did the due diligence, they just need planting time.
Sure. Look, if they're gonna be cleaning all the time.
Not all the time,
But at least.
yeah.
So this will be on the next meeting.
So this, I will have a resolution on it.
Do we have to give a certain time period, or we're gonna go?
They requested till June, based on what their timeline is of their contractor to finish the other construction projects, and then obviously a couple weeks for planting.
Anyone?
All right, now on to the consent agenda. Any questions on the consent agenda? I get a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Wait, can I just offer, we have the head of our TVAC here. And we are approving a performance-based stipend. Like, ask JP, the director of the TVAC, if there's anything, just before we do that.
Except for you to say yes.
Yeah. You ever we're selling the clothes?
Yeah. Just in case, I give respect to the director. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Well, somebody is in our audience. I'm gonna let them be acknowledged.
So I second.
Second. Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon, Councilmember Dr. O'Connor, Councilmember Park.
Yes. All right, now non-consent agenda. Any questions for R 456 all the way to?
One by one. Give out for discussion.
Yeah. So let's start with 456. Any questions?
Well, just on 456.
Oh, we're starting first. No, I'm good.
457.
I'm sorry, on this first one, does anybody have information on what we're doing here with this 52,000, right? Did we get okay, please.
Through you, Council President, they're buying 7 sets of bunker gear along with a dryer. I was told that they have a washing machine to wash the uniforms as well as the bunker gear, but they don't have a dryer. So they literally have to hang things on the lines. So the majority of this money is going to go to the cruise ship.
And we, is this I guess it's an application for a grant, but it's going to be in
Yes, PCA is basically controlled. They have the money, they're the ones that are controlling the grant.
Okay, thank you.
Motion for the motion for 56.
So
Second,
Second,
Councilmember Dayton,
yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Park.
yes. Now on to 457. First purchase of FXR custom gear with fire department.
So moved.
Second,
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
yes.
Councilmember Park.
Yes. 458. Approved contract for 2024 drug and alcohol testing agreement only moved that sunset.
So moved.
Second,
Councilmember Dayton,
yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor.
Yeah.
Councilmember Park.
Yes. Resolution 459, approve amendment to bylaw organ regs for TVAC.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah.
We should vote.
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Michael, Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor.
Yeah.
Councilmember Park.
Yes.
Thank you for being here, Judy.
Resolution 460, rescind various dedication by driving trusts.
So I had a question on this one, and I know this is not in the audience. So, I mean, ask the question. Yeah, I'll ask the question and, maybe, follow through this thing, but essentially we're getting through, we're getting rid of some of these smaller trusts that we had actually created through something like the Welcoming Committee, some of these other small committees that had the trust in place in case people wanted to make donations, but without the trust, that then eliminates completely that ability from anyone in the public who's like, I really loved your welcoming event. Let me give $100.
So it's not actually doing that. What happened was there's a bunch of little trusts and the DCA has asked that instead of having multiple little trusts, you have a umbrella trust and then line items under each one.
Right.
So for example, you would have one for borough sponsored events. And then it would be a line item for the concert series, a line item for hopefully Oktoberfest for each one of those items.
That's
So
right.
this way it just gets cleaned up into a more manageable list for the state to review.
And I figured there was something like that. I just wanted to make sure.
And Susan has worked really hard on this, so you guys should give her some props.
Didn't want to overlook.
Correct me if I'm wrong, with Dan, looking at this also, the catalyst for this was that work of the environmental commission, but basically Davis Johnson Park and trying to get people to donate, if they want to donate to a flag,
Part of that.
all part of that.
So I wish it was the catalyst. Unfortunately, we probably slowed you down because it had to be done first, but it all is getting incorporated under the same actions.
Yeah.
Yes.
So people want to donate.
So now there'd be a park trust,
Yeah.
and then this way,
The book park trust too.
right, so. And for example, the mayor had mentioned at the last meeting, there was a resident that really wanted to donate a park bench to one particular park that he had played on with a certain friend who had passed away. This is the same way that could get done, because he could just give a bench and it wouldn't necessarily have been available if it was just the Davis Johnson. Now it would encompass all parks.
Well, tell Susan, thank you for the.
One question. So if we know what the umbrella trust is, do we have to also know, or we have to be able to identify what I'm calling them sub trusts, but we need to know that there are.
The finance department, they need to know where to deposit it to based on how something is.
But I'm saying the public, so how would the public know that it's something to different product?
So for example, the public would, if somebody was coming to make a donation, they'd say, I'd like to make a donation for our maintenance of the Rose Garden. Finance would know where to put that. If they come in and say, I'd like to make a donation for October. Would know what trust and what line item that it gets marked into. How that'll be done would be looked at in the finance department.
That's internal within the borough. What I'm saying is, how does the public know, hey, there's, you know, we collect money for Griffin Park. As opposed to, hey, there's a small little park somewhere that we don't have as a line item.
So that's actually what Julie was referring to, that the Environmental Commission is taking the lead on a donation form that can then be put out to the public. I don't know if it's on the website or, I know, but the plan is to put it there.
Yeah.
And it has check marks, you know, where you want it to go.
So the holdup she was talking about is after working on it for so long, the dog park committee met, oh, we can take donations, so I added that line in the work document. Then I called Susan, does money have a place in there? Yes, but I'm cleaning this up. That was the conversation, so yes, but if we know where the money lands, then we can put it on some sort of form there.
Kind of was what we did. And actually, it's slightly different, but
In the code.
in that case, we actually, it took it out. We replaced the original one.
It's not that funny.
So that was the Tenafly Care Space COVID fund that had a small amount of money in it. I believe that got redirected into.
Yeah, it was very small, but it's like, yeah.
So that's a good reminder, we got to another line.
It's already there.
Already there. So someone wants
A
to.
lot of stuff happened. We started the letter.
But
Yes,
now, yeah, the minutes correct, that this stuff is something we're gonna wanna promote once it goes live, maybe mayor's message as well, so hey, we're taking donations.
And maybe, I mean, if there are plans to put this on our website.
Form.
I'm saying for the different part, the different type.
Line items, yes. And there's a generic other.
So I'm not sure if I can, but can I make a motion for 460 through 463?
on the non-consent, we go one by one to allow the opportunity for discussion if it's needed or desired.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would all be consent.
I'm just saying they're all for the same time.
This is true.
That's why.
The different one is different because of the nature of
No, it's
the state.
It's gone through one by one.
450.
460,
So moved.
second.
Councilmember Dayton, Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Lennon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor.
Yeah.
Councilmember Park.
Yes. Resolution 461,
So moved.
second.
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Lennon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
Yeah.
Councilmember Park.
Yes. Resolution 462,
So moved.
I'm gonna second.
Second. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I can second.
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Lennon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Park.
Yes. And 463,
So moved.
I second.
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Lennon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
Yeah.
Councilmember Park.
Yes, and we have 464, the environmental funding, we just
For restoring funding for
Yes.
environmental
programs.
program. Yes.
So moved.
Second,
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Lennon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Park.
yes, and now resolution 465. Bergen Jiff opposition to Assembly Bill 5659.
So moved.
Second,
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Lennon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Park.
yes.
Perfect.
Those, moving on to public hearings. what does he do? Julie, you wanna read ordinance? Or make a motion for ordinance 2328?
Sure. I move to pass and adopt on second and final. Oh, it's supposed to be the public comment.
Yes, the public comments.
You said the title and you asked for public comment. Yeah.
Clerk will read the confirmation of publication of ordinance and the title of the ordinance.
Sure.
Oh, and then,
Yeah, ordinance number 23-28 is an ordinance published in the Sunday, November 26th edition of the record. It is an ordinance authorizing the execution of a lease amendment agreement between the Borough of Tenafly and the Tenafly Nature Center Association.
Floor is open for public comment on ordinance 2328.
And by way of background and explanation, there is an existing lease already for this area. However, the Nature Center received a grant from Green Acres, which requires you to update the current Green Acres standards. So the existing lease would be updated for another 25-year term starting again. And it would now say environmental education instead of just education within the lease, because that was one of the flags that Green Acres raised.
Thank you for that work.
Just a question. Were there any changes made from the original lease or?
Nothing that would be substantive except for the language changes that were requested by Green Acres and restarting the term so that they know that they're funding a property that is under the control of a nonprofit for 25 years. Oh, I'm sorry. And Green Acres has asked us to remove the automatic renewals. So that is
Okay, so this is for 25 years.
25 years and stop.
Mhm.
And the reason for that is so that then at the end of each term, when it gets renewed, it always has to go through Green Acres approval. And this way they can incorporate any new changes or updates before it can be renewed after those 25 years.
but I would say that concerns me just a little because, in the sense that this nature center is kind of, are a promise to the future and in 25 years, theoretically.
We can renew it, it's still.
It's just not automatic renewal. You still can renew it, but it's
No, I
subject
understand.
to.
And then it also not.
So
That's the problem.
it has to be subject to Green Acres approval of that.
They have, so to renew it, has to be.
Right, so even right now, once you approve, there's still a 45-day window where Green Acres has oversight to review the approved lease before it becomes active. So yes, and this is property, not all of the Nature Center is funded by Green Acres, but the borough did receive Green Acres funding previously for this portion, which is why it was already subject to their review and approval. So you have to abide by what they would allow you to do. And certainly. Yeah.
Let's say I really want to flesh this out. So hold up. So currently, portion of the Tenafly Nature Center is funded by Green, or under Green Acre property.
There are, of the 400 acres, there is one lot that was donated by the Rockefeller Foundation that is outside of the scope of Green Acres and is more restrictive than any of your other areas. There are also other
Just
lots
the top right.
that were purchased through federal funding. There's lots that were purchased with Green Acres funding, which includes the paths and the
A lot of the stuff we see.
The majority.
right.
Okay, so you're saying currently for this.
So you actually have two separate leases
Right.
to the Nature Center. This is only affecting one.
And so currently, this wasn't, let's say it was yesterday, before Green Acres said pass it. Okay, like the way it had been done in the past. That we've always had to go under their review anyway, before it moves forward, like as.
So for as long as I have worked with Green Acres, I don't know from when you initiated the first lease, 70 something
Yeah,
years
I
ago.
know people who think it's right.
But as long as my experience, which predates my experience with the borough, my experience with Green Acres, that provision has only been in the rules at least in the last 15 to 15 years, let's say. And that provision has certainly been in the rules in the last 15 years,
Okay, and then now,
which may actually predate your current lease. Actually,
oh, before,
because this one has, I believe, 8 years left on it. So it's right around.
when they changed.
No, I don't know that it was changed. I just can tell you that I'm familiar for the last 15 years with the rules, and as long as my tenure with the rules go, it's been there. I don't know when it made it in.
And so they're now saying that we need to do these only with 25-year leases.
They're saying that you cannot have automatic renewals. You could do a 5-year lease and not automatically renew. Yes.
Right, so, first of all, Wendy, thank you for this. The Nature Center has been waiting a long time, to get this re-signed. So essentially, Green Acres, they're not changing the substance here. It really is exactly on our mission and continuing with exactly how we're running the TNC now. We are doing environmental education right now, so they just literally want the word environmental education, instead of just the word education. It's like that kind of, I would say flowery language or there.
It's headed toward real, not substantive.
Exactly. But the point about the 25 years really is that they don't, to be established as Green Acres, they don't just want to say, yes, Green Acres forever and all. They actually want accountability, which is a great thing because we're accountable and we are doing exactly what needs to be done in the Nature Center to remain accountable to Green Acres for the next 25 years. What they're saying is we don't want to put out a 70-year lease. We want you to come back to us and show you're stewards of the land, you're doing the work, you're giving environmental education. So it's actually a good thing, I think.
So my concern is I look back because I'm pretty cynical person because I've been around a while with this type of stuff. And I start, it gets pretty, that in 25 years, they're like, oh, look at, we're not renewing it.
When you're saying,
and then now
are you saying that Green Acres won't renew or that the borough's not going to renew?
oh, so now, what if we own all of them, right? Tenafly owns,
It's a rat.
Tenafly owns all of it, right?
So borough does.
They're saying that agreement can only last 25 or last, but can't be auto renewed.
Right. You cannot auto renew because Green Acres wants to make sure that whoever is the beneficiary of the lease, which I don't know if it's really fair to call the Tenafly Nature Center Association the beneficiary when they take on all the work. Right. So, this is basically a stewardship agreement where
Okay, I'm just trying to make it because I am a pretty cynical person. I just don't want to feel like we're signing some sort of.
say no. It's not for the state to say no. It's for the state to make sure that the latest and greatest rules of stewardship are incorporated periodically into the lease. So it's really from the opposite side.
Okay.
Just a question, is your concern that 25 years from now, we may have a different council and they'll say, what do we need a nature center for?
Yeah. Well,
we may-
that's how
Direction that's seen, and then I have a different response. So yes, that's a possibility that a future council can say, we don't need the Nature Center Association as our stewards, but here's the catch. If you don't have the Nature Center Association as a steward, now the borough is going to have to take it on. Because no matter what, that land is deed restricted.
Correct. So can't build on that, Julie.
can't build
And I don't think you could all.
even in 25 years. Thank you, Gary, because that's exactly where my mind goes. Yeah, like the.
So then the borough is gonna have to figure out how to manage and maintain that property as passive recreation without land stewards and hire people themselves to do it.
Oh,
Because no
I would
matter
agree.
what, the land is restricted, both at one level or another by state and or federal, depending on what part of the land you're standing on.
All right, that was the thing for the question.
And I will say the steward, steward of 400 acres. It's a huge chunk of Tenafly. And again, I know we didn't do it this year in open space, but I truly believe as we go into the next budget season, you should consider an automatic percentage of open space for the nature center. Because they come and they beg for every cent and they use it, and their budget is incredibly tight. And their employees that take care of these 400 acres and do the education are significantly not paid what they should be. So I will, again, request, you guys take a look at the open space funds and maybe an automatic percentage to do nature center. But that's not here or there. I'm going to adopt this, please, if we can, so.
We're still on this.
But I do just want to say, but before calling on that, obviously, I have the utmost respect for the Tenafly Nature Center. This is just because I don't want to try 5 years and yes, it will definitely be a different council in 5 years. if my kids live here, then it didn't become like just a whole bunch more apartment buildings. Now you're saying that property cannot be.
It's a trust, and the trust has certain conditions.
It's not a trust, it's listed on the immigration of the space inventory with the state, as well as federally listed in some portions of it, because of funding that was received. It is conserved for certain uses, and in this case happens to be passive recreation in perpetuity. So if you wanted to release any portion of that land from that deed restriction, you would have to get approval from the state house commission. And provide mitigation that could be anywhere from 2 to 1 or 10 to 1 in the ratios of land.
All right, thank you.
Folks online who would like to partake in public comment.
Anybody on Zoom who would like to speak, please raise your hand.
Andrew, you're muted, I think.
I'm fine, thank you. Sorry. Thank you.
All right.
So, now you want me to read it, right?
Now, yes.
I move to pass and adopt on second and final reading ordinance 23-28, and that notice same shall be published according to law.
Second.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yeah.
Councilmember Menon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes. All right, we move on to old business. Anyone's got any other business?
Sorry. The first thing actually is with the nature center, we had purchased and, we budgeted and planned for the cameras up at the nature center, to be connected to our police station. This is yet to be done. It needs to get done. They're having some, issues up there that they'd like to keep an eye on. So, I guess I just the VA, Kevin, if you would follow up with Susan on the purchase of the cameras. They were in our budget and the nature center applied for the safety grant,
I don't think they.
safety and security.
Right, so
I don't think they need.
we didn't make our budget. What was happening at the time of the budget last year was when the chief was presenting, we had other cameras going up and we talked about looping in the nature center cameras with like a one order.
They don't have checks yet.
Right, and I don't, that was not occurring, that did not occur. But what we said at the time is this she'd already done this large kind of report on security, because they knew exactly their needs. So we talked to him about it. He was looking at different areas of maybe where he could get some camera funding from some other things that had already been like open piles of money, but it wasn't something that we budgeted for.
I know, but the nature center after that applied for the safety and security grant.
Oh, did they get that?
I thought they did receive some funding dollars, so I would like to check up on this. There's been a request for special cameras on the premise, so let's follow through and find out.
And just to jump in on that, I'll email the chief as well, because I had talked to him so much about cameras and I had kept bringing that up, so I'll also ask.
Thank you. So that's there, and I would like to again request that this council create a committee for a possible women's museum. Again, I still would like to see that kind of work The 19th Amendment Committee that we had done in 2019 was beginning to fundraise again for Elizabeth Cady Stanton statue in Hyler, connected with our train station, which is now named after her. So I just don't want to lose any momentum. It's been a couple of years, but I'm putting that back on the agenda. So if anybody wants to take that over on the council, please let me know. There was a request, this is an old request. When we met with Jeff Strahan, tax assessor, ready for this? There was a request to update the code for, and this is a request between our tax assessor's office and our police department, and actually our senior services that I work with, for unsanitary conditions reporting. And so there was sort of a loophole in our ordinances in our code right now in which it wasn't clear, and we were going to go back. And right now, what happens is if you're a reporter and the police people come and send an outside company to clean,
You didn't gonna stop because we have been enforcing those type of violations through property maintenance code.
Less than a year ago.
Yes,
but this was on the tax assessor's side.
I don't understand.
So it's always police is what I said. So we're doing it.
No, we have everything that we needed in the ordinance in order to impose a lien for the cost of cleanup, and this council has actually moved forward with that and done so during that time.
Good, and I'm gonna check that out because it was an outstanding item on my thing.
That definitely is in place.
Okay, I knew we did it on the code enforcement side. I didn't know if we did it on the tax.
Oh, no, so what happens is, any code enforcement issue, whether it's, harboring garbage so that it can harbor rodents, whether it's a dead tree that the property owner refuses to take down, that's a hazard to the neighboring property, whatever it, if it's, uncut, right? Whatever it is, if the property code violation, there's a letter that would go out with a time frame to fix that violation. More often than not, a second notice will go out, but at some point a letter comes out that's going to be generated out of my office, no matter who's signing it, that cites the code, cites the process, and notes that if the borough has to take on this cost, that a lien will be placed on the property and paid if they never an added assessment tax. Then you all pass a resolution in order to approve that, and then it gets Susan's office will place it on as an added.
Good. I mean, I'm going back through notes, so again,
Are we doing 8 years of notes
it might be. So I think it's such a good one. We might be. I think it's good. In the second tax assessor code, the tax assessor Jeff had requested a new ordinance. And I don't think I couldn't find it. I will tell you, I did look. So this was an inability to give a CO, and we were holding out COs for a long time when the house was, 1 or 2 light bulbs still hadn't been screwed in. So we were going to close that with a substantially completed language.
I can follow up with Jeff, but I mean, my practice and understanding has always been that the added assessment for improvements, I believe is at 75% completion.
Right. We were going to change the ordinance to have either substantially completed or fully enclosed structure. And I couldn't find either. We had discussed this at I couldn't find that language. So I'm just again closing loopholes in my own notes, because I want to make sure he's able to reassess or redevelop homes. We had also made, and he did a fantastic job in case our public doesn't notice, an inventory of everything that was outstanding and kind of been closed, and he has now done the entirety of that list. He's done it like a year's worth of work. So I just want to thank him. But that I did want to check our code on that language.
Okay, I will follow up with Jeff.
Okay, that's old. You said old business. I'm going.
And Bob Burns should be looped in on that as construction.
Correct. That's my, and then other than that, then the website redesign, website documents that were never scanned in for not PDF but for live link, so our public can go online and do their pet license by doing online, or which I don't. Well, now it goes to an outside.
Yes, but that's still done on behalf of the borough and it's through your website, it redirects. I believe that's a shared service, right?
It is. So, I know the document, but I actually spoke, speaking of which, I spoke to Civic Plus today about that and, they're still currently working on the documents. I'm to follow up with them tomorrow to see where we are with the status of the documents. Cause we provided, multiple PDFs from various departments for them to create a fillable form for each of those, departments.
So what is taking so long?
That's part of our conversation tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, I actually followed up earlier today.
All right, Vinny, that one's all yours going forward. Okay, that's my to-do list of my own notes. Thank you.
Old business. All right, let's do minutes to be approved, September 5th. 2023. What's minutes?
It's motion second and voice vote.
Motion for the minutes to be approved. I second.
The second.
I will.
Oh, second. Okay. And then all in favor?
All in favor? Opposed? All right. Anything for the good of the order? Anything for the upcoming meetings?
Upcoming meetings, I believe Omar and I were trying to do another pass through on the proposed, meeting dates based on comments from the last meeting. That's the only thing I can think of, and obviously the resolution that you all have authorized me to move forward with on the tree extension.
Oh, something actually, Jamie Corsair actually identified with John, and if it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. On the consent agenda, the schedule for the 449, it says on January 2nd, 2023, which I think happened already. So I don't know if it's for legal reasons, we have to change the date to 2024.
Yes.
That'd be great. And thank you, Jamie and John, for identifying that. Eagle eyes. 7 o'clock for the early meeting and then 7:30 for the meeting.
Are we having, cheese and crackers beforehand? Are we having?
Yes.
Stuff? Yes.
Yes.
So 6:30.
Uh,
I'm just curious. It's my last one. I got.
we have a it's pretty much just cheese and crackers and a spread from Say Cheese. That's going to be before the
Lauren likes
recess and
Finch
reorg.
jelly. Get some Finch jelly in it.
I have to see if that's part of the order.
So 6:30 is that, and
Yeah.
then 7 o'clock.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, let's move on to new business. New board committees. Omar, whenever you're ready.
I'm sorry.
2328.
20, okay. Ordinance number 23-29. An ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 2, Administration of Government to establish Article 8, subsection 2-78, retiree benefits, authorizing and directing the payment of premiums for health benefits after retirement for certain employees.
Council member make the motion to introduce. Oh,
So
sorry.
you would need to read it, right?
Adam, you're up.
I move to introduce on first reading ordinance 23-29 and set the hearing for December 19th, 2023 at 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter.
Omar. Go, second.
Okay. Councilmember Dayton? Councilmember Menon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes. The next ordinance 23-30. Omar.
Sure. Ordinance number 23-30, an ordinance authorizing the acceptance of deed road dedication for a portion of Lot 9, Block 602, now designated as Forcier Court in the borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, New Jersey.
You can do some first reading for these policies that and set the hearing for the Sunday night, 8 p.m. or
Second.
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon,
yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
Yeah.
Councilmember Park.
Yes. Next ordinance 23-31.
Ordinance number 23-31, an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 2, Administration of Government, Article 2, General Organizational, Subsection 2-27, Junior Firefighters Auxiliary of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Tenafly, 2004.
Lauren, would you like to please?
I move to introduce the first reading ordinance 23-31 and set the hearing for December 19th, 2023 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter. I just also want to say this is for the junior firefighter auxiliary and it's a great program. So if anyone looking to become a junior firefighter.
Second one more.
Sure. Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Park.
Yes. Ordinance 23-32.
Sure. Ordinance number 23-32, an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 2, Administration of Government, Article 1, Mayor and Borough Council of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Tenafly, 2004.
I move to introduce that. I like the order. I think it's nice. I move to introduce on first reading ordinance 23-32 and set the hearing for December 19th, 2023 at 8 o'clock p.m. or as soon as thereafter.
May I have a second?
Second.
Oh my God.
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Park.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Move in my third.
on the acceptance of deed, we did the same thing with, right, a few years ago, I guess.
I don't know.
So we've done this in the past, right? And there was an issue, with, garbage pickup and snow removal.
Now you're talking about.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
so on a public, so this is contemplated, this is in this enclosed private condo communities or individual homes, and a new street was created to go down to reach those individual homes, which had previously been one large lot. So your DPW will be plowing, garbage collecting, everything just as any other public road in the borough.
Right, I mean, I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that this was,
Yep.
you know, it was communicated to every.
Yes.
Dates that they get picked up.
Yeah, you're
Are they doing it currently?
it's already happening.
Okay.
The only thing that hadn't happened was plowing. And hopefully this is in place before that season starts.
Moving on to committee reports, we'll start from the items. Lauren, you know.
First, I'd like to say one thing over for Jeff on HTC, that the meeting is this Thursday, and they actually have my Northern Valley Greenway meeting and the first night of contact. And I'm asking if anyone wants to go on Thursday, please let me know.
This Thursday,
This Thursday,
7:30.
7:30. So that's to be discussed later, but, the welcoming committee met, you know, I just want to thank Roxanne and Terry and all the members of the welcoming committee. It's a fantastic, committee and we met and, oh, I'm sorry, the senior services meeting, took place, and I want to thank Lisa at 11 for her incredible work this year, with our seniors. We have one more meeting. We are looking again for grant opportunity for more benches for walkability. That's a big discussion. They have knocked down 10 spaces in the town where seniors would like the option to walk and sit, and then they have up at their leisure. It's something to consider for a grant or a budget for 2024. DPW met, we heard from Kevin on that report. Police and fire did not meet. Tenafly Nature Center met. Again, this lease was a hot commodity. They are planning for the upcoming season. They have a full winter event, and they have already enrollment for next year's summer camp. So they are underway. Please go ahead and look to the Nature Center for membership. There's a membership drive, and I want to thank them for being out at our incredible holiday there this past week.
Did they mention how the tree planting went? Did they talk about that?
I think they were talking. I think they were hoping it would be bigger. So I think that as they grow that program, hopefully they'll be better. But they were very happy with at least some of the trees. Some trees and they didn't have an opportunity to tell them.
No, that's okay. It was just we had the borough had funded that for the shade tree fund. I know they were looking for people to plant them on their big plant weekend, but in lieu of planting, they offered to take donations and to help people get them in the ground. So
yes,
that's the 140 trees were set to go there.
And what their main goal is to have native trees. And so they're trying again for invasive species at the big push right now. So they're after clearing any invasive or non-native trees. And believe it or not, even some maples are non-native around here. And then they're replenishing the nature center with native
and again, funded by
correct. And that's our tree mitigation fund.
Yeah.
So when people don't recommit their trees, now I know where the funding is going. And again, if anybody wants trees planted on their own property, there is that fund that you can apply to.
Yeah.
And there is a push, of course, for donations for dedicated benches, of course, in the nature center. So I know we were just talking about trust. The nature center, that's a great way for money to go to the nature center and raise money.
Yeah.
And that's my report.
Just I think the senior center met before the last meeting and kind of mentioned that they were close to 500 members. They have now hit 500 members. So congratulations, and hopefully the coming year will be much more. I think they'll kind of keep going, and of course that also means that they're putting pressure on us to come to a decision on what's happening in the senior center.
By the way, did you see their Facebook posts? They were hysterical. We need one more. Who wants to be our last member to make 500? It was very cute, and so good job. Congratulations.
And so that's senior center. Of course, they have events coming up. Please reach out to Michelle on if you have any questions or just to be the 501 member or whatever they're up to at this point. Zoning board of adjustment met yesterday, and it was an application that was they had not made it. They didn't want to proceed with it at the time without making some changes. They came back and made some changes. This was on the hillside avenue, and basically they were looking for a number of variants at the time, including floor access ratio and impervious coverage, and they removed. They came up with a creative idea of removing the garage or one part of the garage so that they could get rid of the building structure, which reduce the FAR and that. So that they were only asking for side yard variance. Something very minor change. Let's get on one, I guess.
Two things. One is recreation. This coming Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, December 13th. I don't know how he does it, but Santa will actually be in town from 4 to 6 p.m. I know a guy that knows a guy, I don't know, but it's at Peace Plaza, next Wednesday, the 13th, 4 to 6 p.m. Peace Plaza, please, do that. And then I'll help you with the spelling, Omar, O-M-G.
Okay.
This past Saturday, the Tenafly Downtown Committee and Chamber of Commerce put on just an amazing event. I actually heard, I'm not confirming this, but Councilwoman Dr. O'Connor may or may not have bought stuff at the actual event. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, I'm just telling you, I heard somebody. It's incredible, the music. If you guys did miss the Nutcracker, I think it's Bergenfield, there must have been 30 kids. Sorry, some of them looked like adults. Which one? No, they did ballet. Like literally legit Nutcracker ballet. The food was great. I may or may not have tried this honey bourbon drink, which is pretty amazing. Thank you to Wendy for allowing us to, drink on premise. Omar, thank you, Omar, for allowing us to drink on premise. But just an incredible job. Jenny Jackson, Jeannie, Jamie, the entire downtown committee and chamber. I mean, if we could do this every single month. First of all, it was just so sunny out. It was great. I took my jacket off halfway through. It was spectacular. So huge thanks to the DPW as well and Recreation for hooking us up with the canulus. That worked out perfectly. So just congratulations and hopefully our 15,500 residents like this.
Can I just say something?
Oh, absolutely, man. Amanda was there. So totally hooked us up. So thank you. I apologize. Amanda has been doing everything for us. So yeah, just a huge thank you. I really am proud of this borough. So thank you.
I'd like to say, first of all, congratulations to downtown and the Chamber of Commerce. It was incredibly successful. But what I loved about it was so many of our local business people that maybe work through their home, like bakers or crafters or artisans, were able to actually come to their own town and sell their goods and meet people. I picked up business cards and everything they were handing out left and right, just so I can continue to use them because they're not maybe storefronts here, but they are businesses for Tenafly, and I just love that they shone in this holiday fair. So thank you for that. That's what did you know when the Hanukkah is?
Yeah, so sorry, Monday, this coming Monday.
The 11th?
The 11th at 7 p.m. at Highland Park. Yeah.
That actually is gonna be my question was, what if, what if we're doing the Christmas tree lighting that has like the chorus that comes from the high school and like that?
That should be up already.
The question is up, but we've always done, it used to be Chamber of Commerce, we had Santa drive there, and then we ended up at the Highland Park, the holiday parade. Is that
chamber?
There was no chamber. Is that, and then they would get the high school students with their madrigals would sing, and there was cocoa and cookies.
Yes.
Is that occurring this year, or was it?
Chamber.
I was assuming that Saturday's event like they knew of that.
With the
That's
chamber.
right.
So the fire department had Santa, or is that current? That's what I want.
I'm happy to ask Jamie and the chamber and the fire chief to see. I don't know the answer, but I'll have to find out.
Thank you, that was the one. I don't have that.
Yeah.
All right, so is that
Yes, that's it.
So for environmental commission, we just passed tonight's resolution to hopefully reinstate funding for the upcoming state budget cycle, and fingers crossed that that'll occur to improve our environmental programs through the state. The second thing with environmental commission, we are really encouraging people to sign up for the composting pilot program. At this point, we have 52 families that have signed up, and the number of food waste diverted from landfill is at 3,228 pounds of food just in the first 2 months of the program. So it's a staggering amount of food waste, considering that's just a handful of families. and just in 2 months. So I really, implore people to go online, and we really want to reach that goal of 100 families. So, please, Omar pinned it on our website, so please go to Tenafly website, it's the compost pilot program, it's really quite easy. And you just take your bucket over to the compost drop off, and we're looking to add a few more drop offs in town to make it even easier. So, that's about it, and,
I have no mayor's remarks.
Happy holidays, everyone, when you were in town, so I'm sharing this out here.
I'm still going to. Your turn.
My turn. All right. So, Omar, to do resolution
466.
466.
Mhm.
At a meeting of the mayor and council of the borough of Tenafly County, Bergen, state of New Jersey, held on December 5th. The mayor and council of the borough of Tenafly deemed it necessary to go into closed session to discuss certain matters which are exempted from the public. Be it resolved in compliance with NJSA 10:4-12, the mayor and council of the borough of Tenafly are going into closed executive session to discuss a non-collective bargaining agreement. Minutes will be taken of the meeting and released to the public at the time the matter is resolved.
Should we vote on something?
so moved.
Second, sorry.
Roll call.
Sure. Okay, Councilman Dayton,
Yeah.
No, this.
No.
It's a voice vote.
Aye.
It's a resolution.
Council,
Yeah.
typically we just.
Yeah.
I know.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't think anybody ever says that.
It was listening.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah.
The 2024 session that removed like vacation. We're getting
2024 sessions.
for the council meeting, you know, the upcoming year.
We changed a couple of the kids at school.
Yes, February was changed to one meeting, and then in April there were a shift from 1 week to the other. It was like a, oh no, what I do, no.
No, I'm not saying.
What I do at the rework meeting, you'll see it again, and you voted on it as a resolution,
Okay,
and you'll see the, what, do you need to see it again?
you know what, I'll just look back on your last, I did not write it down at the time. So-
Just let me pause this really quick. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can I close the public meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Maybe the danger's covered by the thrill. 'Cause I know I should be running.